So you're learning the cloud, right? You're trying to become a cloud admin, or maybe you're even just thinking about it. You're just a little bit curious, seeing what it's all about, and you come across these acronyms. They're like SaaS, Paas, and Iaas. So what do these mean? You know, there's already a lot of acronyms out there. You're already trying to remember FTP, DNS, DHCP, all these different acronyms. And now all of a sudden you come into cloud and there's all these new ones. What's going on, right? So let me break down these acronyms for you, and hopefully we can get a better understanding of what all this means. Let's draw a big pyramid. At the bottom of and in this pyramid we have 3 levels. At the bottom of this pyramid we have IaaS. Now what is IaaS? It stands for Infrastructure as a Service. This means if you're working with applications in here, then they're not really applications. You're working with the infrastructure itself. You know, you're working with the physical stuff, you know, the CPU, the RAM, the storage, and the data network center. You're managing the hardware directly, and you get to decide all the softwares that sit on it. You get to decide how it's configured, how it's managed. And the next one is Platform as a Service. Platform as a Service means that you're not managing this stuff anymore. That means the company who is providing this platform as a service is essentially, it's like an application, but it's not an application because you still get to develop on it. You still get to modify the code. You still get to implement different kinds of softwares with this platform. And now the top one is Software as a Service. Software as a Service is kind of the easiest one to explain because this is something like Outlook. You heard of Outlook Mail or Microsoft Word? It's a software that you would install, but it's not like an infrastructure of a physical server, right? It's just something that you open up, you do your work on, and that's what it is. So what does all this have to do with the cloud? Let's talk about an on-premises data center. For on-premises. In an on-premises data center, there is no cloud. It's just a data center. That means that all of your applications, all of your data, your runtime, your middleware, your operating systems, your virtualization, your servers, your storage, and your networking that means all of this stuff is right in-house. It's in the building that you're working in. All of this stuff is what you manage. If you're the IT engineer, then you're kind of in charge of all of this, and you're responsible if any of this goes down. And if you're the CEO, not the IT person, you want somebody who can manage all this. And that means, you need to hire the real estate, because all of this takes up a lot of room. It's all servers, right? You have big rows of servers, and in those servers generates a lot of heat. And with the heat, with the heat comes moisture to the air. So that means if you have moisture, that means it can mess up all your electrical stuff. So you need to hire HVAC to come in, put in proper air conditioning systems, dehumidifiers. That means you need to hire someone to come and do all the cabling. You need to hire someone to set all of the servers up, keep up the updates, keep the security. And with security comes with even physical security. You gotta make sure you hire security guards, make sure people aren't breaking into your buildings to get at your servers. So there's a lot of stuff to keep in mind with this. The advantages of this is that you're not paying monthly to rent someone else's, which is the cloud. The cloud is just, you're renting someone else's data center. So with this one, you don't have to rent, but you have so much other stuff to worry about. So you gotta look at so that's where opportunity cost comes in. Is it really worth it paying all this money for my own data center? Or is it cheaper in the long run and more efficient and more secure to just work with the cloud? renting it from someone else. So now let's go to infrastructure as a service, IaaS. With infrastructure, you manage the apps, you manage the data, you manage the runtime, the middleware, and the operating system. So you manage these things, but the virtualization, the storage, the networking, the HVAC stuff, the real estate, all of the physical security of the data center is now all Microsoft's responsibility, or Amazon, or whoever your cloud provider is. So all you manage is this. You manage like the meat of your servers, of what your services are going to do. You manage what kind of operating systems you're running, what kind of codes you're doing, what kind of applications you're using, what your runtime is, what's your middleware, what's your data. You manage all of that. You just forget about the physical stuff. Amazon will take care of that. But now let's go to platform as a service, PaaS. So with platform as a service, now all of a sudden, the cloud provider is taking care of your OS, taking care of your middleware, taking care of your runtime, and now all you're managing is the applications and the data. So you're managing what kind of applications you're using, what the applications do, the code of the applications you're developing, you're managing the databases, maybe you got MySQL database tables, maybe blob storage, unstructured data or structured data or just block data, all that stuff goes into there. And then that brings us to the last one, which is software as a service. You don't manage any of that stuff there. Everything is taken care of by the software provider. So that's all I wanted to talk about today. Hope you found some value in what I have to say, and I'd like to thank you for watching.